Welcome to Scale With Us, the podcast for business owners navigating the absolute chaos of scaling a business and juggling all that life throws at you along the way.
Each week, we'll be talking about our wins and fails and everything in between because let's be real, it's not all smooth scaling.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it.
Likes and views are nice, but they don't pay the bills.
No, they do not. So today, we're going to break down why your social media maybe isn't converting into leads and how to fix it fast. By the end of this episode, we hope to give you the 4 biggest conversion killers and the exact changes that you need to go and make. So let's dive in. So Jess, what are you seeing as the common mistakes that we're seeing when it comes to social media content right now?
Definitely still way too many just sold, just listed, just leased.
Rate increases.
Yeah, it's boring. It's
Same,
all
it's all
the
the same.
same. It's all the same content.
Sea of
And
sameness.
yeah, same but different. Different logo. Yeah.
It really is sometimes because it's hard to know because I obviously follow a lot of real estate.
Mm.
Maybe the general public, the general population follower of a real estate agency doesn't see as much as we see. So it's
Yeah,
always
true.
hard to know because I just see over and over again.
Yeah.
However, I do believe if you're in a marketplace and you're following a few different agencies from your
Yeah.
area, that yes, that might look like, just more just listed, just lease. Do you think that people want to see just listed and just lease on socials?
I think it still has its place. I just don't think it should be the whole content strategy. I think it's like the old school letterbox drops. It's like, okay, you're seeing that repetition of that agent selling a lot, and it's really not relevant to you until you need to sell, and then you're like, oh, who's that person that has?
But I suppose you're known, at least you're being seen.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be the only content because you won't get followers, you won't get engagement, you won't get shares or anything like that. So if you're just doing it and that's your only content strategy, yeah, it's
But it's cool because I think it's I don't know if it's a mistake. I'm always conscious of people know what they know, right? And that's what a lot of us have been taught over the years is, that's what something you can start putting in your social media. I think probably one of the ways to break through it, is to get creative with your posts. Like when you're just listing and just leased and just sold and all of that. Like I've started to see some people get really creative with it. So if it's instead of a photo and it's just listed, it might be a cool video walkthrough or, some people have obviously big budgets and can make really cool viral looking videos that then get shared because everyone's sending it to their husband and going, oh, cool. I want to live here. But it's, I suppose, how can you create those viral moments? I know there's the amazing Josh Horner from the Horner Agency.
Yes.
He's singing and dancing in his just listed videos and makes a whole thing about it.
Which is very on brand for him.
Very on brand. So very on brand. Shout out to Josh.
Yeah.
But, if you're wanting to share the listings that you have, how could you get creative with it? And maybe you're don't want to do a Josh and sing and dance if that's not your vibe, totally fine. But okay, well, who is this house for? Maybe it's speaking to that in the content. Maybe it's speaking to the lifestyles. What would it be like to live here and who would be the ideal client? And maybe it's tag someone you think would like to live in this home to kind of get a bit more engagement going. So I think in my take, that's one, it's get a bit more creative with
what you're doing.
What you're doing to stand out.
Yeah, it comes down to those content pillars, right? So to educate, to entertain, to engage. So you've got to look at what's just a normal post and how can you put it into one of those pillars.
Or if you don't want to have, if you want to just keep doing your just listed and just lease, maybe that's part of it. It's having other content pillars. So making sure that in your weekly, monthly strategy, however long you're doing it, hopefully weekly, you do have, as you said, it's and we've just picked 3, right? In our sort of formula, it's, content that's going to entertain, connect with people on a personal level. It's content that's going to educate to let people know you're the expert. And it's content that's going to engage and invite people in to actually use you and do business with you.
Yeah.
And I think often what's missing, it's very heavy on the just listed or just lease, and we're missing that other stuff which builds that, know, like, trust factor, which is actually going to help get you people interested in using you, not just seeing you posting the same stuff as everyone else.
Totally.
So I think on that, what would we sort of recommend? Are you gonna go and take an action on that? Like,
Yeah.
what would you go and do differently?
I would have someone have a look at my content. Someone maybe that lives locally, that's your ideal audience, a
Like, yeah, get a
friend.
personal take from someone
Yeah,
else
someone that's maybe not in the real estate industry.
and give you a roast.
Absolutely love a
Or give it
roast.
to us.
Yeah.
Send us
Yeah.
your profile and we'll give you a roast like Brittany Saunders does.
Yeah, love that, we should
Could do
do
that.
that. Seriously, send it
We
through.
dare someone.
Yeah.
It's a dare, you have to do it.
No, but I think it's to have that outside perspective, of someone who would be your ideal client. Maybe they're not ready to use the services of a real estate agent or property manager right now, but in the future they may be. So what would be the content that would resonate with them and keep you top of mind? And yeah, have them go through your
Oh,
profile.
yeah, or like it's like okay, ask someone to look at it and go, "What's your impression of our business?"
Yeah,
Give us some feedback because I think sometimes people don't know what they want and what they need. So
yeah.
maybe it's like,
What's
I
your
would love to know
impression?
from your perception, what would you say about our brand? And
Yeah,
if it's like, "Oh, we just, looks like you sell a lot in the area, so that's good." But then they don't know you, like, it's like, well,
mm-mm.
but, like, you're not on there for someone to give you that feedback to be like, "Oh, maybe there's some other content that we could be creating."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's just taking the mystery out of it, in having those content pillars. It's like, okay, what do I post each week? It's like, okay, well, I need to put something out educational or expertise this week. Is it
Mm.
a market wrap or an update? Or um, I think personal opinions on the market can be really cool as well
Yes, yeah,
to
I
break out of
agree.
the just listed, just leased trap because then people are,
What's your unique opinion?
well, exactly.
You can't copy that.
Can't copy that.
We can, but then it's not authentic. And it's gonna like, it wouldn't last long. People,
Mm.
yeah, will just see through it.
Yeah. So I think audit either yourself or get someone to do it for you or send it to us and we will give you a bit of an audit. I think if you've got half a brain, you can probably look at it and probably go,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I know that's all I'm posting." I've had clients come to me like, "I know that's all we do, and I know we need to do more."
yeah,
But then it's like, "Okay, well, what do we need to do?"
mm,
So coming up with the content pillars.
yeah.
We've also got in the show notes, we've got our personal branding blueprint. There's some really got a finger better neck that I keep tongue twisting that one. There's some ideas in that, and also within the brand lab where it's like, okay, here's how to get a bit more creative in your social content.
Yeah.
Um, Mistake number 2, I see it as that a lot of people then if they are working on their content pillars and their messaging, it's around they're speaking to the wrong audience. I know one of the biggest things that I see when I do a bit of a digital audit, when I bring a new client on, is that we see that maybe really their ideal client of who they would really like to bring on, like let's say in the rent roll scenario, is a really investor minded client, right? Someone who's, thinking about this property really as an investment, not as like a mum and dad who are very, precious and attached to their home. And I see it that maybe their marketing is all like, oh, we'll look after your property like it's our own. And they're speaking to people about looking after their home, but they don't actually want that kind of client, right? So either then if their audience is all more of the investors or they're trying to attract more of those, they're either not capturing them or they're not going to convert them and get those people to reach out because their
But
content
they're
is
not
speaking
seen,
to the wrong
yeah, they're
to
not
the
gonna
right
be seen
people.
as the expert in that
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that comes down to, so we spoke about in the last episode, branding is more than just a logo. It's really looking at, okay, well, who are you? What do you stand for? But also who are you speaking to? Like who is your ideal client?
Yeah.
And I think that's some really important work to not just do at the start of your business, but almost kind of reflect on, maybe on an annual basis to kind of go, okay,
Mm.
who is our ideal client? Are we speaking to them, their challenges, their pain points, their goals and their desires so that when they see our content, it's like, oh, that's the person for me.
Yeah. But also, where are those people hanging out?
Well,
Like,
that's the thing.
yeah,
Sometimes we say that you're putting all your efforts into Instagram,
yeah.
which, yes, that's our
Guilty.
favorite platform. We do talk about that one a lot. We're just probably, it's our home space. We're most comfortable there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, well, is your typical ideal client, are they more in their, I was gonna say elder years, my mum will kill me, in their 60s? And are they more hanging out on LinkedIn or
Yeah.
Facebook? And then it's like, okay, well, are you putting all your energy into showing up daily on your stories on Instagram, which
Mm.
we advocate for, but your ideal clients over here and they're not seeing it and you're not building your following and audience over there.
Yeah.
I know for myself, like I quite good at sharing on my stories, but sometimes I reflect and go, oh, that story probably would have been really good to be over on Facebook or LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because it wasn't a scheduled post, it hasn't gone across to those things. So sometimes I'll just, put a, if we call it, not unedited, but like more of a like casual kind of post onto one of those platforms so people can still see
Yeah.
what I'm doing. Maybe instead of on the stories, it's like an actual photo on Instagram of like, hey, I'm out and about getting my coffee from here today with a caption on and tagging that business.
Yeah.
So remembering if that's where your ideal client is, making sure the strategy is focused on
Aligns, for
there.
sure. Yeah. When I was at Chadwick, we had to focus a lot on Instagram because if you think of who lives on the Upper North Shore, it's a lot of, quite well-off executives and, in their big mansions. So it's like, how are we focusing? They're probably not just doom scrolling on Instagram every day.
Yeah.
They're over on LinkedIn. So yeah, really targeting the strategy over there.
Yeah. So maybe it's, your wrong platform for your audience is, or I wonder if it's like you're in the right place, but you're posting the wrong content for that type of place, right? Like maybe,
Well, that's like, you
you're
look at
doing all the
Instagram.
entertaining stuff, but your actual ideal client needs a lot more of the education and
For
expertise that
sure.
they're not seeing, or vice versa. You're posting a lot of education and expertise, and I might look at you and go, well, you know your shit, but I don't know you, and
Yep.
I need to be engaged. I need to get to know you as like a person, a personal brand, like we were talking about last week, to then want to interact with you.
Yeah,
So it might be the
absolutely.
wrong content type for the platform that you're on.
Absolutely.
So I think it's probably some homework for everyone is to really, it really is, it is. It's taking that third party perspective, taking your head off, audit your content to make sure you're speaking to your ideal client. And if I said to you, who is your ideal client? And you're like, oh, I'm not really sure, to go and do some of that work
Yep.
to make sure that whatever platform you are using, or whatever content you're creating it for the right audience.
Totally. Couldn't agree more.
All right. What's the third one?
Not measuring what matters. So I think, like we were just talking about, the different content for different platforms, you need to look at, what's working. Is it bringing leads in? If you're posting, that's why Instagram is great for reels and
Oh, the metrics on
the
there is crazy.
metrics. Yeah. So you can't be posting those funny reels on Instagram. On LinkedIn. It just doesn't work. So you need to have your content strategy for each platform, but then you really have to measure it. Otherwise, you just, what's that saying? Throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
You can't double down and go hard on something if you don't know if it's working.
Yeah. Tracking beats guessing.
Yep.
Although just to throw a spanner in the works, every now and then I'm like, because LinkedIn's such like a serious space, every now and then I post something like silly or funny over there, and it actually does get some good engagement because
like,
it's sort
oh,
of
what's
like,
this?
I think it's such like a serious space that someone's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But and this is the thing, the algorithms over there work differently to the algorithms on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, it's interesting space to play in. But I definitely think tracking beats guessing. For you, like, or if you're advising a business owner, like if you're going to pick like 3 or 5 metrics that you would track to see how you're performing on socials, like what would you be kind of keeping an eye on each week?
For Instagram, it's definitely like views, shares, comments, engagement type of.
New followers?
Yeah, new followers, definitely. LinkedIn, it's more like the likes and comments.
Yeah, I think it's like impressions or something over there. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's the same person viewing those two platforms, but when they're on LinkedIn, they're very much in that business mindset. When they're on Instagram, they're there to be entertained. So that's why you've got to have the content strategy for both and be measuring different metrics. Yeah.
And I think it's also tracking the leads that come from there, right? Because as we said at the start, the likes are good, but if it's not translating to actually people connecting with you, having conversations, taking that next step into your business, then it's like, not what's the point? Because we do know that there are lurkers. We do know that there are people out there that are not engaging, but then they're still watching and maybe wanting to use your business. But it's really making sure you know what leads have come from that. So, outside of messages, it's like, okay, well, in your business right now, if you looked at all the leads that have come in the last 30, 60, 90 days, do you have a clear source for them? And are you asking that
Mm.
question? Like if you're meeting with someone, it's like, oh, how did you find out about us?
Yeah.
Like usually, sometimes people aren't even asking that question.
Mm.
And if
How
you
can
ask
you
the
track it?
question, they might go, "Oh, we've been watching you on, we're watching you on Facebook," or you get always recommended in the Facebook groups, or you had really great Google reviews. Like attribute your
Mm.
lead source to where that's coming from, because
Yeah.
then if you've got 90 days and not a single one of those has come from social media, well, do you stop social media? Maybe not, but you go, okay, how do I optimize my strategy to make sure that, coming back to the pillars we were talking
Mm.
about, are we just posting too much of the one kind of thing? Do we need to be more entertaining? Do we need to
Yeah.
be more educational and expert? And also then, are we actually inviting people to come and work with us? Like, are we asking for people to reach out and connect?
Mm.
Which actually leads into the fourth one, which is what we see is that a lot of people do content without a clear call to action.
Yeah. You've got to make it really easy for people to do business with you.
Yeah.
So,
Or at least invite them to, right? It's
yeah,
almost like
absolutely.
you're putting on this awesome party every day,
Yeah.
but you haven't sent out any invitations.
To join the party.
Yeah, you gotta invite people to join the party.
How do I join this party? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I know a lot of us have probably gone, "Okay, I need to get content out," and
Mm.
we might have a batching strategy or a weekly strategy where we are maybe even we're doing the pillars. We've got consistent stuff going out, but we haven't got that then next stage. Now, do all posts need to have a clear call to action? It's an argument that, you'll
Mm.
probably get different arguments on. I think
I
not
say no.
100%
Yeah.
no. I think some can just be for, putting out there.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say a few of them a week. They need to have some kind of interaction.
Mm.
And for real estate, that interaction has to not just be, would you like an appraisal on your
Yeah.
property? Give us a call or send me a message, because I suppose it depends on, maybe this is separating out from sales to property management. I know I specialize a lot more in that property
Mm.
management space. But there's probably a lot of landlords that might be watching you and connected with you. Maybe they've already got a property managed, maybe they're with another agency.
Mm.
They don't want an appraisal.
Yeah.
They don't,
But they might wanna ask a quick
they might
question.
want a
So
consultation. They
invite
might want to just
people.
like get on your market
Yeah.
updates. Like, how else are you inviting them to connect with you?
Yeah.
So I think, it's probably looking at, okay, well, what are some of those call to actions that you can use?
Mm.
What was it got? DM me,
Yeah.
call me,
And I
message
think that's
me.
a really nice, gentle way of, like, starting a conversation with
Yeah.
someone in your DMs, and you
Interested to
never
know
know.
more? Shoot me a message.
Yeah.
Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
So it's inviting a conversation. It might be if you're, and we'll talk about this when we talk about website strategy in a few weeks, but it's like, okay, well, if you have an ability for people to sign up onto your, market update newsletter, I hate the
Mm.
word newsletter, but, a way for you then to have people in your database where you can communicate with them.
Mm.
Or maybe you've got a guide, like an investor guide or a selling your home guide, whatever it is. It's like, are we regularly sharing the call to action for people
Mm.
to engage with that? I've got a lovely client who just started working with me recently, and they said, oh yeah, we have a lead magnet, we have a guide, and we put it out on socials a few months ago, and we didn't really get anyone. And it's like,
Posted it once.
yeah, well, one
Yeah.
time is not
Yeah.
enough. Like what we don't know how many of your followers have seen it.
Mm.
Like it's almost like if you've gone to the trouble to make this guide and it's an awesome guide, let's make sure in, different ways
Yeah.
we're sharing it. Like it doesn't have to be the same post and the same copy and creative
Yeah.
each time, but it might be, well, here's,
Talking about it on your
yeah, it's talking about,
stories.
oh,
Yeah.
also we have a guide. If you want a copy of this, if you're an investor and you want a copy of our
Yeah.
top tips for renting out your property in Erina, like send us a message,
Mm.
download it.
Yeah.
If you're short on time, there's also some really great tools like ManyChat. Like I know you've been playing
Yeah.
with that a bit recently.
Yeah. I
Um,
love it.
yeah,
So
like
good.
so
So
like explain
easy.
how does ManyChat work?
ManyChat is a software that you can download. There's an app, really easy. You just set up a trigger word, and depending on what your guide is, just say it might be Erina as the trigger word.
Yeah.
And you connect up your Instagram, Facebook to ManyChat, and then you can set up what the message will be. And then when you're doing a post or a story, you just have to say comment the word Erina. As soon as that is triggered either in the comments or on the replies to your story, if someone has said Erina, they instantly get a message back from your Instagram that says, "Hey, thanks for commenting
And
an
it does
error."
the
It
chat
does the whole
conversation for
thing.
you.
Yeah, it's AI generated. Yeah. And they get that. That's what I was saying before. You've got to make it really easy for people to do business with you.
Mm.
If you have a guide and you keep that manual, as in you don't have anything set up, at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through messages and messages of people that have said error, and you've got to physically go and drop the link, and hey, they might lose interest because you've done it 5 hours later. So you've got to make it really easy for people. Yeah. And it's like $10 a month, $15 a
Yeah,
month.
it's not much. And I think it's a really great tool to use to also build up your database, right? And I
Yep.
think this is the thing. Maybe this is another mistake we didn't add in there. It kind of comes into the call to action. But I think sometimes we're jumping from okay, you're a follower to, hey, can we have your business? Can we manage your property or sell your property?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're at a bar and
Yeah,
you
the
just met
dating
someone,
phase.
and or
Yep.
you see someone and you're like, hey, do you want to get married or go home? They might be like, hey, buy me a drink first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the buy me a drink first, where people can have a conversation, get some free advice, answer a question, download a guide, get your special investor only weekly update. One of our clients, we've just done, they send this awesome investor market update out to their clients. I'm like, well, we'll use that as a lead magnet tool. We've just sent out our investor update to our clients if you'd like a copy. And they use that as a tool, and they're getting leads, from people who aren't getting that from the current agency. Now those people aren't quite ready to jump ship, but now they're going to get the updates, regularly, and eventually they're going to go, we want to be with these guys. These guys know what they're doing. They're investor focused.
Yeah, I think it's great to have a little library of a few guides. So then whoever's jumping into your DMs to have a chat, you can say, oh, I've actually got something free for you on that. And it might be a guide on sort of each stage of someone that's just bought an investment property and has never had a property manager before. It might be someone that has multiple, like have a few different guides available to just be able to drop, when needed.
Yeah. And so I think, it's like, it's really, it's having tools. It's having the ability to invite people to have conversations with you. Like, I know for your business, like you have so many conversations, and you're very active in comments. You're also active commenting on other things so people see you and interact with you. It's a social space. It's not just book an appraisal.
It's not just business.
So I think it's a missing call to action, but it's a missing opportunity to use the space to connect before you convert.
Yep. Absolutely.
Should put that on a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
All right. So a couple of actions and piece of homework. So obviously, having a bit of an audit, going through your socials, getting that third party opinion, or getting us to rest it for you on, okay, what does my content look like? Is it just listed, just sold, just lease, or, is there a need for some other content? Making sure you've defined that ideal client, making sure that then you're speaking to the right audience on the right platform. Considering your post, go to a recent post or plan a next post that's going to have a clear call to action in it. Maybe it's not book an appraisal, but it's like inviting them to connect with you in some way, shape, or form, and measuring what matters. So making sure that you pick some key metrics, start tracking them consistently, and stop guessing if your socials are working. And I think one cool thing I heard the other day was then, like, if you are posting consistently, like, go and look at what posts have performed the best. And keep doubling down on that kind of content.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the
Look at your competitors as well. If there's someone in your space that is doing it well, maybe in a different area,
you
or
can see all their real views.
you can
can't you?
see you can see their stats. You can see views, comments, shares on other
I
people's
would encourage
content.
everyone to add their own creative
Oh, totally.
sprinkle,
Don't just
because the
copy.
problem is that I do see, and again, this might be because I follow so many
Yeah.
real estate people, is I then see a trend, not talking about the Nicki Minaj trend where I'm petrified everyone's going to break their ankle,
Yep.
but trends like that where then we end up in another sea of sameness because everyone's copying what they're seeing other people doing. So I think use it as inspiration for sure, but don't let your personality come out in it. Add your own creative sprinkle or something on top so that it's not just straight copying, it's layering. And because it's hard with trends because everyone wants to jump on the trend.
But you've got to be quick.
Yeah. But
Otherwise,
that's interesting, like using that Nicki Minaj thing, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the one where you've seen them on Instagram and on TikTok where people are standing on their heels doing awkward positions. At first it was just standing on a small thing, and now people are like leveling it up and standing on like
Towers.
5,000 things. And I'm not encouraging anyone to do that because I just like my
Well, the
ankles
trend's over now anyway.
feel sore looking at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time this goes out, it will be very well and truly over. There'll be a new
Absolutely.
trend trending.
Yeah, and I just wanna add, if this all sounds like hard work, you need someone in your team to be tracking, even taking note of a few trends or coming up with ideas. There's a lot of different prompts and bots and things out there that can help you put all this together.
Or you just need to be in the brand lab
Yeah.
where we actually give you a monthly
Content
plan
plan.
with all these tips and
You
ideas.
do.
So that
Which you can have someone in your team execute it to 95%, and then all you've got to do is jump on your stories and show up for a few minutes of the day, and that can be your whole social media, content strategy.
Yeah.
But you've
Doesn't
got to
have
be
to be
doing
hard,
it.
but you got to do it. And I think, like we do that in our business. I have a digital marketing VA, shout out agency, shout out to Ina. And I think we've really gone from not just now creating content, but each week and each month we're tracking the metrics, right? So I can see very clearly we track my socials, we track the sidekick socials. Like in the last month, I haven't been really consistent with my content, and I can drastically see the number of views and followers has like dropped, right? So it's not guessing to go, oh, I don't know if it's working. It's like if I show up consistently, both on my stories and on my consistent posting, and the more myself I get, like I can see the metrics, and that's almost like motivating to keep going, right? It's like if you're trying to lose weight and you see the scale going down, you're more motivated to do it versus going like, oh, I don't know if I'm getting anywhere.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
But yes, soft plug there. Join the brand lab. We'll have the link in the show notes where we've got a monthly master plan that will come out. You've got community, and we're sharing ideas so that you don't have to think about all of this alone. So we'll share it in the show notes.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.